In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my tarot and oracle collection. This has been a video that's been much requested, and I know it's a popular kind of video within the community. I've never shared a full tarot and oracle collection before, so this is the first for my channel, and this is not going to be the prettiest, and I'll explain why, but this is my tarot and oracle collection as of September 2021. So if you'd like to see what tarot and oracle are in my collection right now, then do keep on watching. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. So today I'm going to share with you my tarot and oracle collection, and this is all behind me on these shelves, which do look quite messy, and so this might not be a video for everyone because this video is not going to be like really pretty, and the reason for that is that I'm actually moving and my husband and I are in the process of packing up all of our stuff, and I actually thought it would be a really good opportunity to get all the decks out and show you all the decks as I pack them up to move to our new house. So that's why I look a bit of a mess, and the rest of the house is in a bit of a mess as well, so please do forgive me for that. Before I get going, I will just make a disclaimer that these are decks that I have accumulated over several years, and I don't really want to go into depth about tarot collecting or culling decks or anything like that in this video. I just want to share the decks that I have. I do have a video that I posted recently on my channel where I discuss this kind of topic that's going around at the moment in the community. It's a conversation I really value within the community, but it's something that I'm not really going to touch on here. So if you have any comments around that, then that's fine to leave them below, as long as obviously they're not rude, but I'm not really discussing any of that here. So if you do want to go check out my other video around that topic, then I will leave it linked below and above in the cards, so you can take a look at that video and sort of share your thoughts as well on that if you want to. But for today's video, I'm just going to go through the decks, show you what I've got, and there are a couple of decks as well that are at the bottom of the bookcase that I would like to remove from my collection, so I will share those with you as well. But I think that's everything I need to say before I get going, so I'm literally just going to take everything out and show you as I go. So you can see this is the state of the tarot shelves at the moment. It is really messy, and you can see I have books as well. I'm actually planning to do a video on my witchy books and spiritual books, etc. So that's going to be in another video. But for today, we're just going to focus on the tarot decks. I have a suitcase here. I'm going to put it right here and put the decks in as I take them out. At the moment, this isn't really arranged in any particular order, they are just on the shelves. So the first deck I've got is the Work Your Light Oracle. This is by Rebecca Campbell, and the artwork is by Danielle Noel, same creator of the Moonchild Tarot, which I really love. This is a lovely oracle deck to work with that I have paired with those decks quite a lot. I have the Moon deck, which is a beautiful oracle. This is Oracle Cards and Guidebook, written by Ariana Lee and illustrated by Andrea Kay. And this is a really beautiful deck. Again, really lovely to use around moon time, as well as the different moon phases, etc. The Star Child Tarot by Danielle Noel and the Moonchild Tarot. I think these are really beautiful, which is why I have them sort of at the front. Again, this is by Danielle Noel. This is the Threads of Fate. I really enjoy this. Doesn't say who the creator is actually, but I think that they have a social media presence. I will also try and link every deck below, although it's going to be epic. But what I'll do is I'll link as many as I can, and then I'll probably run out of space and not be able to fit them all in. But if there are any decks that you want a link to, let me know and I can get them for you. I have the Tarot of the She, and this is by Emily Carding. This is a fantastic deck. I love it. It's just fantastic to work with around the summery months of the year. And I have the Black Lily Tarot. This is a deck I picked up this year. This is art by Aya Rosen, and I think this was from Game Crafter, potentially. Really beautiful deck, very raw, and an indie deck, obviously. I have a mini version of the Radiant Wires Spirit Tarot. This is really cute to just put in your purse and carry around with you. And I have a mini of the Bohemian Gothic by Bubba Studios. This is a beautiful deck. Many of you love this deck, I know. I could only get the mini at the time, so I would love to have a full-size version at some point, but this is just what I have for now. I have the 78 Elemental, and this is written by Trish Sullivan and illustrated by 81 different artists. I won this from Lisa Papez. This right here is the Lux X Umbra Tarot, which I was really kindly sent by the creator a few months ago, and I did a walkthrough on my channel, so you can check that out if you want to. Really beautiful deck. I have the Light Seers by Chris Ann, a favourite and one that I know very well. I have the Dark Days Tarot. Again, a really beautiful deck that I like to use in like the dark moon and such. This is illustrated by Ren McMurdo and the guidebook is written by Ren McMurdo and Emily Mundy. I have the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot. This is really gorgeous. I really love this deck so much. It's a beautiful deck. The Sassy Burrito Tarot. The Sassa Rabito. This is fantastic. This is Stasha Burrington. Really another favourite. This is the Divine Feminine Tarot deck in Nocturnal by Kokorina. I did a walkthrough of this deck as well on my channel. The Philakis Tarot, this is definitely a soul deck of mine if you believe in soul decks. There's some conversations going around about that at the moment and I think they're really interesting again. This is by Carmen Sorrenti. This is just a deck that I feel I really connect to and that's why I would say it is a soul deck of mine. Beautiful artwork, really goes deep, really like this deck very much. This is an old favourite of mine. This is the Ostara Tarot. This is by 4 different artists, Krista Gibbard, Molly Applejohn, Eden Cook and Julia Ardell. And it's just a beautiful vernal equinox deck. Stunning, beautiful artwork. I kind of forgot about this deck. This is the Magick of Tarot. I picked this up from The Works this Christmas for £4, I think. This is by Liz Dean. I would say the guidebook is actually really good as a starter deck and I really like some of the images within this deck, but the minors are quite hippish. It's not the easiest deck to work with. It's just nice to have because it's very simple and I think that Rosalie would probably really enjoy this at some point, so I'll probably keep it for her at the moment. This is the Astro Soul Oracle. I absolutely love this. This is by Maria J. Ferrado Perena. I think I picked this up as soon as it came out actually, and it's just beautiful. It's really fantastic for like learning astrology and just working with different aspects and working through things magically as well with astrology. It's really beautiful deck. This right here isn't a deck. This actually was a little pouch that our late cat's ashes came in, and the ashes were scattered in the field because he used to run around in the field, and I wanted to use the pouch. I kept like a little flower and like a card for him and some of his fur in a different place, but I cleansed this and I wanted to use it for something else. So I have actually got some guidebooks for different tarot decks in here, but then I also have some runes that I made for myself. So these are seashells that I gathered on a beach, and there was just an abundance of these seashells, like it was several years ago, and I decided to just paint on with gold paint the runes. So these are like the Elder Futhark runes. I've got a blank one there, and the Younger Futhark as well, so it's both. But I don't really use them that much. I've only really used them a handful of times, and I am more interested in learning the Ogham at the moment, so I have some Ogham staves as well, which I will show you. I do have these. I really like that I made them myself. They are my only set of runes, and because I don't really work with them all that often, I don't think I need another set by someone else. I just like that I've made these for myself, and I am interested to learn eventually, but Ogham is kind of more of a priority for me at the moment, beyond tarot of course. I have the White Witch Tarot. This is by Maya de Oost, and this is really fantastic, kind of psychological. Just a mages deck, really beautiful. Again, beautiful imagery. The Herb Crafters Tarot. This is one of my favorite decks ever. This is Joanna Powell Colbert and written by Letitia Guthrie. It's one of my absolute favorites. I have a beautiful crystal here. I have the Lumina Tarot. This is the French edition because I was able to get this on Amazon, the French Amazon. I wasn't able to get the independent version, so I opted for this, and actually it's a beautiful deck and I can work with it really easily. I really enjoyed this. I do actually have a walkthrough of this on my channel as well if you are interested. Or actually, I'm not sure if I've uploaded it. I did film a walkthrough for this, so I will check if it's there. If it's not, then I can upload it. I just have to edit it. Have the Wildwood. This is another favourite of mine. This is Mark Ryan and John Matthews, and Will Worthington is the artist. Just a beautiful deck and one of my favourites to work with all year round. This is an empty box. This is what the Transformational Oracle of the Morrigan arrived in, and I actually have the deck in this bag that belongs to the Witches of Legend Oracle, which is here. So I've got the Oracle deck in here, I've taken the bag and I've put the Transformational Oracle of the Morrigan in here. And I think this is the bag that came with the Transformational Oracle of the Morrigan, and in here I have 2 different decks. So I do need to get another bag, but in here I have, from Chantilly Aura, I have this Pythonic Tarot in that bag. I also have, by Mags Black, the Tree Whisper Oracle, which I absolutely love as well, and I need a bag for this. It's just beautiful. So currently these are housed in the same bag. I will have to separate them out And in here, as I said, this is the transformational oracle of the Morrigan. So I've got the Witches of Legend here, so I might as well get this in. I have the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle, which I really, really like. This is by Amanda Lovelace with art by Jenniana Medeiros. I've only used this a handful of times. I really, really enjoyed it. It's really beautiful for self-love work and such. Here I have the Margaret Peterson Tarot. I really, really like this for sort of more abstract readings. This is the box that the Goddess Spirit Oracle cards arrived in. But in here now, I have the Dreaming Way guidebook, some other notes, the guidebook for the Goddess Spirit Oracle deck, which I will show you in a minute. And I also have the printout. I made this on Make Plain cards. This is the original Majors of the Spirit Keepers Tarot by Benabel Wen, which you may know, if you follow Belle, that she actually made these cards available on a PDF to download. So I got them printed myself and I edged them myself. And I really, really do like working with them. And I bought the book to go with as well. They are really, really fantastic. I really wish I'd been able to get the actual deck, but I have ordered the one that's coming out in a month or so, a couple of months. So I've ordered that and I cannot wait to get it in my hands because it looks even more amazing now. It's got colour and she's updated some of the cards and I'm just so, so excited for that. One thing I don't get about this though is I got it out of the box. The boxes are really, really tatty, but it won't go back in the box. So I had this out for a while I was working with it, and then when I tried to get it back in the box, it would not go in. I just don't want to ruin it. Oh, that is currently living in this box, which again is also quite flimsy, but because of the beautiful art on it, I didn't want to get rid of it, and it was obviously handmade and everything. And the Goddess Spirit deck came with this beautiful bag, so that's what the deck is actually living in. Oh, and there's a moth on it. So this is a beautiful, beautiful deck, and it's handmade by the artist, whose name is Rachel Johnson. I believe that Rachel is in Australia or in New Zealand, and it's www.spellboundsociety.co. I think Kelly from The Truth in Story actually featured this in a walkthrough as well, but it's got beautiful depictions. This is the Morrigan, which I work with the Morrigan, and it's just stunning. Coventina, Danu, Bastet, Persephone, Demeter, let's see, Selene, Hecate, Isis, and Caridwen. Oh yeah, Kali. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. So I think the bags will have to go somewhere different. I don't want to ruin them. So in here I have my Ogham staves, and this is the bag that went with the Witches of Wisdom tarot, which is up there. And I have some Ogham staves that I had made. I think it's Wild Woman Crafts on Etsy. Each Ogham stave is made with the wood of the corresponding tree. I've studied the Ogham a little bit from various different books, but I don't know the Ogham off by heart. And I haven't thrown these before, I've just used them for studying. So again, I think Ogham is going to take me several years to actually learn, because I'm focusing on learning so much and reading around witchcraft, reading around tarot of course, and developing my studies around thoth tarot. So there's a lot that I'm learning and working with, so I can't imagine that I will become like really, really good at Ogham for several years, you know, but that's fine with me because I'm fine to take my time with learning it and practicing with it. So I really like this bag from the Witch's Wisdom deck, and so I thought that would work perfectly. I'm going to show you the rest of the bags now because I've got them down. In this red bag here, I have the beautiful Witches Insurrection tarot deck, which I love. This was made by a former sex worker, so nudity, if you are bothered by that. But this is like one of the most beautiful decks I own, honestly, and it was just a joy to find this and purchase it. It's so like feminine, empowered, and it's just everything that kind of aligns with me, to be honest. The Harlot of Roses. I find this incredibly empowering and just a beautiful, beautiful deck. In here I have my it's not my first copy of the deck, but it's my very first deck, and it's the Universal Rider-Waite with the blue and white roses and lilies. It's not an attractive deck, but it has meaning because it's the first deck I ever had, and you can tell the line work really isn't very good when you get down to it and you see it compared with like the Centennial, but nonetheless I love it, and I do actually use this still. I take this out and I use this for my friends when I'm reading for them. And in here, this might look familiar to someone if they're watching. This is a deck that I got from Jess at Stella Rain Dancer, and this is the Daughters of the Moon tarot. This is a deck that Jess was decluttering last year, and I've been looking for it for a while, and I asked Jess if I could purchase it. So yeah, I love this. It reminds me of the Mother Piece quite a lot actually. It's really beautiful to work with around the moon again. I also love that it came in this little bag that I think Jess made, and that Jess worked with it as well. I feel like there's like a resonance there, which is really, really lovely. So love this. And I have this tiny little deck here that I purchased independently, but I do think it came in like a witchy box at one point. But this is called the Mini Moon deck, I think, and I purchased it from a shop in England. It's basically just beautiful like altar cards with different moons. So I do like to, when I'm organised, have these out, but to remember to swap them over sometimes. I can't get to it, but it's just nice, and I think this is something that I'll probably end up giving to Rosalie. It's just nice for her to have so she can track the moons, because she is obsessed with the moons. It's just a lovely little deck to have. I have the Luminous, which arrived recently, and I have done a walkthrough. I've not uploaded it yet. Very, very excited to have this. This is obviously by Cedar McLeod, and it's the 3rd printing, the one that was most recently released. I also received the Uncertain Oracle, which is so lovely. I haven't really used this other than for the walkthrough yet, but I can see myself definitely using this for friends as like clarifying cards or meditative cards, you know. And when I have like problems come up and I do one of those like spur of the moment kind of readings for myself, when I just pull cards from the tarot, and often that's actually my favorite way to work with the tarot, when I just grab a deck and I just ask it questions and pull cards intuitively and see what comes up. And this is the kind of deck that I would like to use in that instance, do you know what I mean? So because these ones up here are quite big, I'm going to go down here and get these smaller ones to go on top of the ones that are already in this case, and then I'll work on these ones. So I have the Afro Goddess Tarot Arcana by Andrea Furtick, and I've talked about this a lot on my channel. I have a walkthrough of this as well if you are interested. The Ancestral Path by Julia Cushia Watts. I love this. Beautiful deck. Again, I keep saying that. I think that's probably what I say most often, isn't it? Beautiful deck. And I know that frustrates some people, but it's true, they are beautiful decks. The Lonely Dreamer Tarot, I think this is out of print now. This is the 2nd edition by M. Witherspoon. Fantastic purchase. Love this deck. This is the art of Odilon Redon. The Fairy Wicker Tarot, this was one of my most amazing eBay purchases. I picked this up. It was about £39, £38 I think, because it was listed so low, and then lots of people bid, and then I got it eventually. This is Kisma K. Stepanek, illustrated by Renee Christine Yates, and it is out of print, I believe, which is why it's sought after. But it has depictions of the Morrigan and her various different guises as well, which is why I wanted to get this deck, because also it goes into sort of Irish lore and also the fairy Wicca tradition, which I'm interested in learning about as well. So this is on my list to study. I have the Melanated Classic here, fantastic Rider-Waite-Smith deck. The Goddess Tarot, which I used recently in one of my moon tarot readings. So I do tend to do full and new moon tarot readings for myself, and I create my own prompts depending on what planet. Oh! So I create my own prompts for those depending on what the planets are doing and aspects and such that are impacting on whatever full or new moon we are in, and what time of year, etc., and what season we're moving through. So I write out those tarot prompts, and then I use those for my full and new moon tarot readings. I post those on my Instagram with a graphic, so if you want to, you can sort of take a screenshot of the graphic, or you can take a screenshot of the written text of the questions in the description box, and you can go ahead and use those for yourself for your full and new moon readings. And I think it's going to be really, really interesting as this practice evolves. I've only just started in the last few months to make it public and create graphics for it and share my prompts, and I'm not sure if I'll be doing that forever for free, but at the moment I am. So if you are looking to, you know, get specific tarot spreads for each new and full moon phase, then do take a look at what I'm putting on my Instagram page, because for me, I think some of those questions have really, really helped me to move through things that have been coming up at each phase of the moon. If you're interested, take a look. If it's not for you, that's fine, you can pass it by. I have the Royal Dark Tarot here, and the Labyrinth Tarot, which is also by Louis Arroyo. I'd say those decks are very, very different. They are based on the artwork, and tarot's kind of fitted in with it, almost like the Menorah Tarot here, which I do tend to use for sort of more erotic readings because of the content included. I also have the Tarot of Sexual Magic, which I use in a similar way. I am planning to offer some kind of sexual erotic tarot reading when I do set up my business finally and start offering paid readings. This is the Moon Void Tarot. This is another fantastic tarot deck that I like to use around like the dark moon specifically, but because it's the moon void, you could actually use it at any point when the moon is void. When the moon is void, of course, it means when it is not in any sign, when it's transitioning out of one sign into another, and it's usually void, of course, for a few hours, and that's a really, really interesting kind of liminal space to explore magic and tarot, I think. I do have a walkthrough of this on my channel as well if you're interested. The Self-Love Tarot, which is a beautiful deck that arrived recently. I backed this on Kickstarter. This is by Hannah Trequoyer. I did do a walkthrough of this. I've not uploaded it yet, so if you are interested to see it, let me know below and I will try and fast track it. I have some water here from the Chalice Well in Glastonbury. I have my little Pusheen Pussycat Witch, little mascot, and I have a little opalite Ganesha there. I also have a little Tiger's Eye Kuan Yin there as well, beautiful. The Darkness of Light Tarot, this is a deck that arrived this year. I've not worked with this yet because I wanted to do a walkthrough and I've still not done it, so I think I might just work with it because I've been desperate to work with it, and now that we are in autumn basically, I want to start using it, so I love this. Beautiful deck. So I have the Morgan Greer here. This is a vintage copy that I picked up from eBay, and I have the 1JJ Swiss Tarot deck. This is a really, really fantastic deck. Again, I got from eBay. I love these old decks. They're just beautiful. Oh, here's a little postcard that came with the Self-Love Tarot. I might have to put this in a journal or something. So in here I have a deck I made for the Morrigan. This was very much a channeled process. I just found artwork. I do love painting and drawing and such, but I knew it would take years to do this, and it kind of came really, really fast, and it was something that I was just instructed to do, and the prompts just came to me. So I did this maybe 2-3 years ago, I think. All the prompts just sort of came to me and I applied the artwork to them. It's not something that I can reprint because I don't think all of this artwork is free to use to sell, but it's free to kind of reproduce for personal use, so I would never be able to use this for readings or anything either, so it's just for me, but that's what I wanted it for. And if I ever wanted to release one, I would either do the art myself or I would use found art that could be reproduced. I am working on a tarot deck, but that will probably be like another 10 years. This is a stunning deck. This is a deck I think was Make Playing Cards, and this is a Pre-Raphaelite deck made by Cherry Enchantress here on YouTube. It's just Pre-Raphaelite paintings essentially. It's really, really stunning. I have the Revival Art Tarot here. This is by Taroko Studios. The Sacred Island Celtic Moon Oracle, created by Dr. Karen Ward and Bernie Sexton. So I first saw this on Hazel Jane's Tarot and had to pick it up. So it was the beginning of this year, I think. I saw this and picked it up, and it's beautiful again for moon working. Actually, I see a trend. There's a lot of decks here I use with the moon. This is my beautiful Starlight Illuminated Tarot by Carol Hertzer. I have the Tarot of the Divine here, which I have not worked with, and I'm thinking of rehoming. This is by Yoshi Yoshitani. The artwork is incredible, but I just never felt drawn to use it, so it's something I pre-ordered and then I just didn't feel like using it. I was a bit disappointed as well to hear that the stories, the myths and legends that are depicted within the cards aren't actually featured in the book, that you have to buy another book, so I was a bit disappointed by that. But so I've not actually worked with this, so potentially might let it go. This is the Angel Oracle by Ambica Waters. I like working with angels more in like a kind of magical way, to be honest. So I have a fake copy here of the Victoria Regina Tarot. This isn't a deck that I knew that well, and then it was put on eBay and looked genuine. So I picked it up and it's just really bad. You can tell straight away that it's a fake. And actually I complained about it on eBay, asked for my money back. They never responded, they just sent me another one. So I gave it to a friend of mine who's learning tarot just as a resource to kind of look at, not to use for readings. But I couldn't ever see myself sort of putting it into the community because obviously it being a fake, but I feel like my friend might be able to use it in like a journal or something like that, and that's probably what I'll end up using this for as well at some point. I have the Universal Goddess Tarot here. This was a new purchase, and it was Bronnia who inspired me to get this because they've been doing some fantastic videos with this deck, and I have wanted this deck for a really, really long time, and I thought it might go out of print, so I kind of just nabbed it. By Maria Carati and artwork by Antonella Platano, another Lo Scarabeo. I have here the Fairy Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. This was a deck I picked up recently. Actually, I've never had lots of fairy and angel decks by Doreen Virtue. I had the Goddess Guidance cards, and I had a few decks like the Unicorn deck for Rosalie and such. But I suddenly felt called to start working with some of these decks because they've actually, the ones I've had, have always come up with like really scarily accurate answers. So I picked these up recently on eBay because there's been like a flurry of real
Doreen Virtue decks on eBay that are reasonably priced. I think most people are sort of starting to get rid of them now, whereas before they were quite hard to get and quite expensive, otherwise you'd get fake, you know, that kind of thing. But now actually, you know, this is actually obviously the real deal, and it was, you know, £5 or something. I thought it was actually really, really good value, and I think I would use these in readings for friends and family and such, so I thought it'd be worth having some of these decks. Another one is the Archangel Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. Again, I really, really liked the look of this one, and again, it's been really, really accurate for me so far. I have the Dream Keepers here, and this is by Liz Houston. This is the mass market edition. This took ages to arrive. The Druidcraft Plant Oracle. This is fantastic for learning about plant lore within the Druidic tradition. This is the Visconti de Modron Tarot. It's like a reproduction of the oldest tarot deck, essentially. And the 89 triumphs of the ancient Visconti de Modron Tarot have been digitally restored with the gold and silver engravings. It's a really, really beautiful reproduction. The True Heart Intuitive Tarot. This is by Rachel True, who was one of the actors on The Craft, which is like a definitive movie for me in my life, let's just say that. The Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck, and this is by Lily Ashwell. Really, really beautiful deck, again, to help you learn astrology. I will say, I don't think you need this many decks, of course. That is something I will say. Whoa! Okay, here we go. This is where the bookcase, yeah, gets cross with me. The bookcase is breaking. So this is the Druidcraft Tarot. Again, another favourite by Philip and Stephanie Cargon. This is Legend the Arthurian Tarot by Anne-Marie Ferguson, and this is going for quite a lot of money right now on eBay. This was a second-hand purchase out of print. Really, really gorgeous. This is the Gorgons Tarot here. This is by Dolores Fitchie. Really large circular deck. It's quite difficult to work with, but I love the imagery in this deck, so I couldn't get rid of it. So forgive the mess, it is a day later, and I just realised as I'm packing up my altar space that I actually forgot a deck. So this is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, and the reason I forgot this was because it's actually been living in the living room, and I've been using this deck to do some readings for the house move. So they've been quite accurate and interesting energies coming from the readings from this deck for this move, and I was sort of keeping an eye on it with this deck and keeping it out, so that's why I missed it out. It wasn't on the shelf, so I just thought I'd quickly include that. And back to the main video. This is my one and only copy of the Thoth. This is like the golden Thoth, obviously Aleister Crowley. I would love to have a greenie. This is the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. This is the newer edition without the borders. I have the Mary Owl Tarot here, which the book isn't in here. I think the book's on the shelf. And the Brian Froud Fairies Oracle. An oldie but a goodie, The Shadowscapes. The Everyday Witch by Deborah Blake. This is one that I went back and forth on, and I do love having it. This is the Green Witch Tarot, and I thought they were kind of similar, but actually they're really not. This is Anne Mora. Anne Mora's written several really great books about green witchcraft. They do have a bit of a Wiccan spin though, but they're excellent nonetheless. This is a Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson, another fantastic mermaid deck. Tarot of the Hidden Realm by Julia Jeffrey and Barbara Moore, a beautiful deck and an excellent reader, I might add. The Celtic Wisdom Tarot. This is definitely a soul deck. Again, if you could have a soul deck, this is just a deck that speaks to me, the imagery, the topics. The Mythic Tarot, this is the original by Juliet Sharman-Burke and Liz Green. A really, really stunning deck. I really like the illustrations and fantastic for learning about different mythologies. I think this is mostly like Greco-Roman mythologies. So I'm going to start to put some of the smaller decks around it. I have the Modern Witch here. The Neo Rider Tarot. This is a beautiful black and gold version of the Rider-Waite-Smith. I've worked with this quite a lot and my friends actually really enjoy this deck. The Tarot de la Nuit. I think some people don't really like the imagery of this. I went back and forth on it. I got it because it was so fantastical and it evoked that kind of like gothic romance thing for me. So that's why I do enjoy it. And actually the readings from this deck are really good. So I couldn't ever let it go, but it is very body beautiful, you know, that aesthetic. The Santa Murta Tarot, again, another one that just, oh, I've had some moments with this deck. Oh my gosh, like goosebump moments. Another one with goosebumps. This is the Murder of Crows Tarot by Corrado Roy. This took over as a favourite from the Crow Tarot. Oh my god, hands down, again, like proper goosebumps. I do work with Morrigan with this deck, as well as with the Oracle decks I have for the Morrigan. And I have the Darkness of Light now as well, and that is a deck I thought I would like to work with the Morrigan with, but I have not yet started to work with that deck. So it's similar kind of like aesthetic, and I think they pair really beautifully together as well. Actually, a lot of my favourite decks are in the smaller boxes. This isn't one of my favourites, but it's one that I really enjoy the art from, and again, I've had some great readings from this. This is the Ethereal Visions. I actually think this is one that my friends will really like, so I think I will take this next time, but I haven't used this for a reading for them yet. But this is the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck by Matt Hughes. Here is the Crow Tarot. Of course, this is a favourite, and this is MJ Cullinane. This is a deck that I got years ago. Stunning like collage artwork deck. Beautiful. That's 2 suitcases so far. Oh! I never thought that I would have more than 2 suitcases worth of tarot decks. Tarot of the Vampires. This is a favourite for this time of year. This is definitely one I'm working with as soon as we get into the new house. This is by Ian Daniels. One of my favourite decks, Oracle decks. This is the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle. Again, another herbal deck I love working with. I used to have that deck out all the time actually, but a lot of the decks I had out I put away because I just felt quite cluttered in my space, so I just have the Rider-Waite-Smith out at the moment. The Darkwood Tarot, this is by Sasha Graham with art by Abigail Larson. This is a deck I really enjoyed, but I really wish there was some diversity in it. I get that it's the theme and it's one character, but there's no diversity whatsoever in terms of age or body or race, and I think that that would be really nice, but it's a beautiful deck to work with for this time of year, and I love that whole Disney kind of vibe it's got going on. Dreams of Gaia Tarot. This is a fantastic deck, but it takes a lot of energy for me to work with this deck, so I haven't for a while, but it is a beautiful deck. Ray Van Phelan. I do love it. I couldn't let this go. The Mother Mary Oracle by Alana Fairchild. This is Protection, Miracles and the Grace of the Holy Mother. This is a deck that I really cherish. It's just beautiful to work with the energy of Mother Mary. This is the Love and Light Oracle by Doreen Virtue, and again this is like a more Christian themed deck, which I like to have for myself and for others. The Mists of Avalon Oracle. This is Rose in Sarah. This is such a stunning deck again, and that Arthurian legend coming in there. Oh, you know what? I might have to keep this out and keep this in my bag. This is the Halloween Tarot. I think I want to take this with me in my bag. I'm going to keep this out. Right, so I have the box here for my Centennial, and I think I might put it away in the box so it's ready to go, but again I think I'll take this with me though in my bag, in my personal bag, because I just want it with me. The Centennial is the deck that I use the most, in all honesty. It's the one I've gone to the most. It's just my default deck, and definitely Rider-Waite-Smith girl at heart. So yeah, this has to stay with me. I just think it's going to be better that it's in its box ready to go, and I'll put the Halloween Tarot with it because that time of year. This is the time when that energy starts, you know, and I'm just feeling it. A deck I've been loving this year, this is Tarot of the Mermaids. Again, I'm tempted to keep this out. I think I'm going to keep this with me in case I want to read with some friends this week. The Mother Piece, I've got the baby and the large. This was a mistake, I didn't mean to get both, but I got this one thinking it was the large, so then I had to get the large. But I've got the book as well that goes with, so it's good. This is the Archangel Gabriel Oracle by Doreen Virtue. I did get this because my son is called Gabriel, and it also happens to be that Gabriel is my archangel. I just like working with the energy of Archangel Gabriel. And this is Mary, Queen of Angels Oracle, again, Doreen Virtue. So I do have quite a few that I've collected over the years of Doreen Virtue's decks. I did get this new. This is a lovely deck as well. I really like this deck because I love the artwork. This is Lunea Weatherstone. This is the Astrological Oracle cards. They're really nice to use as like prompts during different times of the zodiac wheel. So just popping them up like whatever season you're in. It's really nice to have that on your altar space. Really beautiful deck. I have these goddess cards here, the paintings by Suzanne Sedon-Boulet and the text by Michael Babcock. I picked this up in Glastonbury years ago. Really love this deck, beautiful. I'm going to put a few of the smaller decks in because I've got a little bit of space. This is the Gypsy Witch fortune telling playing cards. These are a little bit like Lenormand, and then they have the corresponding playing card. So really interesting for learning playing card divination. And here as well, these are the playing card oracles. These are by Anna Cortez. I have both of Anna's books. So the art is by CJ Freeman, which is Anna's father. I have both of Anna's books. I haven't read them both fully yet. One of them was a Kindle book, and that's the actual companion to this, and the other book I have as a hard copy. I wanted to get through the Kindle version of this first, but I don't often read on my Kindle, so that's my blockage. But again, like I said, I wanted to learn this year, and it just went out the window because my focus this year started with Thoth and then moved on to the playing cards, but really I've spent a lot of time researching folk and traditional witchcraft this year, as well as just diving deeper into Rider-Waite-Smith. So yeah, my plans didn't really work out, but that's okay because this is still something high up on my list. But it's just, there's so much to learn and absorb, and you know, I've only got one brain and a certain amount of hours with kids and job and everything. So you know what it's like. It's time. It is a goal of mine to learn it eventually though. And that's just one form of playing card divination as well, because you can use other forms as well. There are several different books. This is the Macmillan Alice pack of cards. So it's just playing cards with Alice all over it. And the Barbara Walker Tarot in a tin, which I love. It's stunning. Actually, I've had some really, really good readings with that deck as well. Very, very brutal. This is the Triple Goddess Tarot. I picked this up quite a long time ago now. This is a Lo Scarabeo by Jamie Elford and artwork by Franco Rivoli. Quite witchy, has that sort of neo-pagan influence. I have the Inspirational Wisdom from Angels and Fairies here. This is lovely. This is a deck I really like to work with my daughter with, actually. This is written by Frances Monroe and artwork by Julie Mastranello. Stunning artwork and really, really beautiful messages. This is my very first tarot deck that I ever got when I was 17. This isn't the actual copy. I had to get a new copy because I did remove that copy from my collection. Oh my god, I'm not nearly done. This is The Spirit Cats by Nicole Pierre. This is lovely. It's just got different cats and then there are different characters on it. It's beautiful paintings and artwork. I'm a cat person. Celtic Lenormand. So this is the only Lenormand deck I have. I was planning to learn more than I did this year, but it's still on the list. The Deviant Moon. This is a favourite of mine by Patrick Valenza, of course. I would really like to get the big book for this. The Spiral Tarot by Kay Stevenson. This deck has beautiful art, but it has rather strange borders, which I don't love, but I do love the art. This is a US Games deck, and it's quite a small deck as well. It's quite nice for travel. I have the Moon Oracle here. This is Caroline Smith and John Alstrop. Again, really, really nice for working through archetypes in different phases of the moon. Queen of the Moon Oracle. This is an old deck of mine. Stacey DeMarco. Really beautiful imagery. It is digital art, but it is really beautifully done, and it's popular. The Divine Feminine Oracle. This is one of my old favourites. This is Megan Waterson, and I actually have a print by the artist, which is Elspeth Chova Gesseman, and I think her company is called She Who Is Art or something. I think that's what it is, but I ordered it from her website. This is a beautiful deck. And the Spirit Animal Wisdom deck. This is by a creator in the UK, Katie Jane Wright, and illustrated by Nikki Strange. Beautiful cards. And the Vintage Wisdom Oracle by Victoria Mosley. This is really lovely around this time of year as well. Up here I have the Goddess Oracle. This is by Amy Sophia Marajinsky and Henra Janto is the artist. Really incredible cards. I love that the goddesses look so real and beautifully depicted. I have the Witch's Wisdom here, beautiful deck by Phyllis Curott, one of my favourite authors. The Hoodoo Tarot here. This is a stunning deck. This is by Tanya Lee McCullough. I picked this up at the end of last year. I've worked with this a little bit. I read the guidebook. It's fantastic. I've also been following Kim's videos from Abundant Life Tarot about the tarot study group. I didn't really engage much in the Facebook group because I struggle to understand those Facebook groups. I can never figure out where the resources are and stuff on those groups, but I did watch all the videos and kind of take note of everything Kim said, so I did find it really, really useful to engage in that process. So the Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle, and this is illustrated by Giada Rose. I would love to get the next one, which is the Yule Oracle. I think it's available now. Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle. I think I would like to get all of these, to be honest. Just the collector and me and being a witch and everything, it just feels very aligned. I have the Sacred Earth Oracle here. I actually have some of these cards out, so I'm going to leave this one out. This is Tony Carmine Salerno and Leela J. Williams with artwork by Helena Nelson Reed. Stunning deck. I have the Fairy Oracle here by Lucy Cavendish. This is a really lovely deck. I did get this a few years ago. I haven't worked with it all that frequently recently, but it is a nice deck to have. I think I'll probably pass this on to Rosalie at some point soon. This is the Oracle of the Mermaids by Lucy Cavendish. Again, a deck that I'm not so sure I will want to keep forever. There are some cards in here that are not so great, I think. But as an alternative, I think this Messages from the Mermaids by Karen Kay is fantastic. And Karen Kay actually lives in the Southwest. And I was sent this from the publishers, which was Hay House. So it's really, really nice to have this. I'll just say I was sent this with my odd job because I worked in publishing. So I expressed an interest in it and that's why they sent it to me. I have the Goddess Guidance cards. I think these might have been the first oracle I ever got. Again, Doreen Virtue. I have the Kuan Yin Oracle. I feel like the energy of Kuan Yin is a lot like the energy that I feel from Mother Mary. Alana Fairchild again. There's some lovely meditations and such in here. This is the Isis Oracle, also by Alana Fairchild. Again, this is just a fantastic deck for engaging with the goddess. I will say I did buy these Alana Fairchild decks before I kind of had a bit more awareness around, you know, the cultural significance of including certain deities within decks. And after seeing the Kali Oracle come out and hearing some people discuss that and not feeling so comfortable with picking that deck up, I just have avoided that deck. But I do have these and I still like them, so I am still keeping them and working with them. So this is again another Alana Fairchild, and this is the Sacred Rebels Oracle, Guidance for Living a Unique and Authentic Life. This is fantastic for shadow work and like inner work, inner healing and such. I have the Llewellyn Tarot up here. I've used this quite a lot actually, and I really like it. The art is stunning. It is by Anne-Marie Ferguson, the same creator of the Arthurian Legend Tarot. Beautiful artwork. This is the Bone, Stone and Earthflesh Tarot by Avalon Cameron. I have a walkthrough of this on my channel as well. I love this deck. It's perfect for this time of year. I have the Dark Goddess Tarot. This is the mass market edition by Ellen Lorenzi Prince. This is a stunning deck as well. Really beautiful for that Dark Goddess energy. And I know there's a lot of like misconceptions around what Dark Goddess energy means and is. I won't go into that really too much here, but dark does not equate to evil. It's a very racial way to kind of look at the word dark. For me, it means what is in shadow, what is unseen, and it is meaning that these goddesses delve deep and go deep, and you will get work done with these goddesses, and that's how I interpret it. The Celtic Tree Oracle. This is by Shannon Hidalgo and illustrated by Jimmy Manton, and this goes into the trees of the Celtic tree calendar and the Ogham. Also illustrated by Jimmy Manton. This is Stacey DeMarco's Goddess and Sirens deck. This is very beautiful, but again very body beautiful, sexy, empowered, strong. The depictions are beautiful. It may not be to everyone's taste. Again, another one like that is this Heal Yourself reading cards by Anna Segal, Intuitive Guidance to Transform Your Soul. This is a beautiful deck for inner work again and shadow work. I've loved working with this over the years. I have the Soul Cards 1 here. I picked these up recently actually because I'd never had them. This is by Deborah Croft Chapin. I haven't really worked with them yet, but they are stunning. I love them and very excited to have them in my collection. The Angel Therapy Oracle cards, again another by Doreen Virtue that I picked up secondhand on eBay. This is the Moroccan Oracle by Morpheus Ravenna and Hannah Storyteller. Morpheus Ravenna wrote a fantastic book called The Great Queen about the Morrigan. I would highly recommend that book to anyone interested in the Morrigan. Art Through the Starstream Oracle by Cheryl Youngback Rose. This is a deck I picked up recently from Glastonbury. I really liked these decks for years, and I've never picked one up until this year. Really glad to have this in my collection as well. This is the Yoni Oracle cards. I picked these up last year. I've used these a lot. These are by Georgina Caitling. Embodying Your Lunar Nature. These are just really great for working with like womb healing and like yoni healing and such. And I've used these a lot when I've been healing and working through shadows and stuff around those areas of my body. The Moon Baby Tarot. This was a deck I backed on Kickstarter, of course. Very happy to have this. I did do a walkthrough of the Moon Baby Tarot as well, but I haven't uploaded it yet, so I will do that. I have the Celestial Tarot. This is another beautiful one by Kay Stevenson and Brian Clark. Again, odd borders. This is the 1909, and this is a facsimile of the 1909 Rider-Waite Smith. So it's got some extra cards with it, but it's got these beautiful backs. The quality of the reproduction is just stunning. Really love this. I have the Fantastical Creatures Tarot here. This is art by Lisa Hunt and this is by DJ Conway. This is a really beautiful deck, actually really like intense. The Nicoletta Ciccoli, a brilliant deck to work with for inner child healing. The Sacred Feminine Tarot. This is Alo Scarabeo. This is an out of print deck. It's the Shapeshifter Tarot by DJ Conway and Sharona Knight, and the illustrations again are by Lisa Hunt. The Dreaming Way. This is a fantastic deck and actually surprisingly a favourite. This is the Tarot of Nefertari. I picked this up a couple of months ago. I have always been fascinated with Egyptian magic and learning more and more about it, watching some documentaries, and there's more I'd like to read on it as well, but fascinating. Always been fascinated with Egyptian mythology. And Tarot of the Moon Garden, I picked this up I think a year or so ago because I had a dream which featured this deck. But this is by Karen Marie Schwickert. A little postcard from the Self-Love Tarot and some postcards from the Numinous Tarot. I just have these out as decor, you know. And the final deck over here is the Oak, Ash and Thorn by Three Trees Tarot. So this is Stephanie Burrows and Adam Ulis. It is stunning. Oh my gosh, this deck. I actually want to get this out and work with it. Beautiful deck for this time of year. Oh my gosh, absolutely stunning. I think their new deck with dragons is coming out soon. I'm not sure when, but soon, I believe. So there you have it. I'm now very, very tired. The normal light has gone. I have a ring light and another light up there. It's just in the wrong place though, so forgive me. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired. I've got to do the books next, and I think I'm going to film that tomorrow. It's quite late now. Got some more bits to do this evening, but we're going to have some food first and then crack on with the rest. I will film a second sort of part to this with witchcraft and spiritual books over there and over there and over there and over there. There's a lot. And so hopefully that will be interesting for anyone who enjoys those kinds of videos. But yeah, that is the Tarot and Oracle shelf, or shelves, which is filled up 4 suitcases, which is quite a lot, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I forgot to show you. I literally forgot to show you these. The 2 decks I want to remove from my collection. This is Colette Baron Reid's Goddess Power Oracle, which is a deck I just don't really want in my collection anymore, having heard some things about the creator that I didn't particularly like, and having learnt more about ways in which people have been treated by the creator and the origins of this deck, etc. It's not one that I want to keep, so I will pass this on. And this is a deck I just did not get along with. This is the Mystic Dreamer Tarot by Heidi Duras, and the text is by Barbara Moore, and it's nothing personal. I just thought that I would connect more with it because I love the imagery, but the borders are so yellow and take up so much space, and the imagery is just, it's like Tarot de la Nuit, but just not as good as, for me. It's photo manipulated art, and I just don't think it's my speed really, so I have to let that go. And you know, rarely do I say I don't like a deck, and it's nothing against the creator, but this is just not a deck for me, so this has to leave my collection as well. So I now have 4 suitcases full of Tarot and Oracle decks. I am very low energy. I will do the books tomorrow. I will do another video. If you're interested, you can tune into that when I upload it. This one will probably be first. I hope that you've enjoyed seeing my collection. I'm sorry it's not as like aesthetic as, you know, you might like, or some of these tarot collection videos might be, but practically this is just a really good time for me to do a video like this because I'm packing and moving, and I'm probably not going to have another opportunity anytime soon, unless of course I was to do it while I'm unpacking, but I think I'll have more priorities then. So just thought I'd do it now, and then anyone who's interested can see it, because I've had a few requests to see my full collection. And so yeah, if you would like walkthroughs of any of these decks, do let me know. I do have some walkthroughs of some of the decks that I haven't shared from months back, and I also have some that I've recently filmed, like the Moo Baby Tarot and the Numinous Tarot, so I will try to upload those as soon as I possibly can. I have quite a few videos to go through and upload, edit and upload, so just bear with me on that. If you enjoyed it, do let me know in the comments below what is your favourite deck, if you have any of these, etc., what you like working with. I'm going to leave my socials on screen and below, so TikTok and Instagram, and I also have a buy me a coffee page if you're interested in buying me a coffee to just show your gratitude for anything I create here which you find of value or of interest or of inspiration at all. If you did enjoy the video and you'd like to see more from me along the lines of tarot, witchcraft, magic, spirituality and occult, then do think about subscribing, and while subscribing don't forget to hit the little bell notification as well, because that's how YouTube is going to let you know when I create and upload videos like this. And if you know anyone who is interested in these kinds of videos, do share it with them, because that really helps to share the love and helps to support the channel as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Today's not been as like high energy as I normally am, I know, so yeah, this is just real life, real packing, but I hope that you enjoyed being able to see my collection at the same time. So thank you again so much for joining me. I hope you stay well and safe and look after yourselves. Have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are, and look forward to seeing you again really soon. Take care. Bye. Mwah.